Good morning, everyone. This is Elizabeth White with Cornerstone Agility, and welcome to People Don't Change. For those of you who are really excited about the book, I promise it's coming. Pre-order is on its way, but publication is an art form, as I am finding out firsthand. So thank you for your enthusiasm. Thank you for your excitement. I am equally excited to get this, not in your hands only, but also in mine. But I just want to let you know it is on its way. So we're just going to start today with, yes, it does exist. Yes, it is coming. I will have a pre-order link for you soon. For today's episode, I really want to dive into accountability because for some of us, we had a tough week last week, and we're really trying to figure out where we go from here. And I think accountability is a great place to start. I also think it's an opportunity for me to lead with vulnerability. For those of you who know me well, I try to be as transparent and as vulnerable as I can possibly be. And so I think that's a great place for us to start. So with that, let's dive into accountability. And I always use Bruce Gordon's accountability ladder as my source of truth when we talk about accountability. I think it's a very foundational technique, and I really do think it helps us really unpack accountability and really helps us understand what it truly means to be accountable and how to be in a state of mind that really embraces accountability. And so with that, we're going to dive in here. And I'm going to start with a story about myself that's about podcasting. I am so out of my wheelhouse when it comes to podcasting. Put me on a public stage anywhere in the world and I am fine, but put this microphone in front of my face and I don't know why, but I freak out. And so when we look at Bruce Gordon's accountability ladder, the lowest level of accountability is what we call denial or a lack of awareness, which means that I have been in denial for many, many moons to stand here and have a conversation with you all. And so that's not a great place to stay. I've got to get past it, but I have to start with accepting that the fear of the unknown, stepping out of my comfort zone has caused me to delay this, but I'm not going to stay here. So then I have to go to the next level, which is what we look at as blame. I can blame my industry. I can blame myself. I can blame my team. But ultimately, we move out of denial and start to move into blame. Again, for those of us who had a tough week last week, we're probably still in a state of blame. Instead of doing some introspection and some retrospective on ourselves, we're looking to point fingers. And that's only going to take us so far. So I have to stop blaming and say, oh, well, it's a technology issue or I don't have the capabilities. But ultimately, we have to stop finger pointing, turn those fingers on ourselves and say, okay, this still doesn't quite feel like accountability. From there, we often move into excuses. Well, I just don't have time. I have so many other things going on. I'm writing a book. I don't have time to do podcast. I don't have time to do episodes. So then we start to move into excuses. But excuses, if we're honest with ourselves, also doesn't really feel like accountability. And then when denial, blame, and excuses has failed us, we go to my favorite, which is wait and hope. We move into superhero desire or superhero mentality where we're waiting for the superhero to arrive and solve the problem for us. Charlie, I was hoping you would start the podcast, but you didn't show up as my hero. And so here I am. Once we can get past denial, blame, excuses, and waiting and hoping for someone else to help us or someone else to solve our problems, we then actually get an opportunity to engage in an accountability mindset. And this is what I'm so excited about for today because I am here, I am present with you, I am past denial, I'm no longer blaming technology or my industry, I'm not looking for excuses that I don't have time or capacity to be here with you, and I'm not waiting and hoping for anyone on my team to solve this for me. So now, where do we go from here? I get to acknowledge reality. The reality is that change is such a critical component of both our personal and our professional lives. And we need to be talking about it because change is easy for some and it is hard for others. even just coming up with the title of my book, I could not believe what a house divided we are as people. Because for some of you, I said, people don't change. And you were like, yeah, you're right. People don't change. And then for some of you, that was offensive. You were like, wait, what do you mean? People do change. And so even just thinking about that, change is so critical. And so here I am today, acknowledging that we're going to start talking about change. The good, the bad, the difficult, the easy, the fun, the hard. We're going to talk about change, all aspects of it. And I'm accepting that reality. Now I can own it. Now I can say, okay, let's show up. Let's start talking about change. Let's have this conversation. Let's start to unpack it. But I can own it and say, I'm ready to be present. I'm ready to be here with you all. And I'm ready to get excited about the conversations we're going to have. I can then create a solution and I can say, here we are at People Don't Change, our very first episode, unpacking everything there is to unpack about change. But I've come up with a plan. I'm going to be with you all every week. Sometimes we're going to have guests. Sometimes we won't. Sometimes I'll use slides. Most of the time I won't. But the accountability ladder requires it. But I've got a plan and I've got a path forward and I'm creating solutions. And then my favorite part is we make it happen. So here we are today making this happen. So why is accountability and change so important? I'll give you one more slide here where we talk about this idea of powerless versus powerful accountability. And really what we're talking about here is denial, blame, excuses, and hoping someone else solves our problems for us or goes through change on our behalf is a powerless mindset. We don't want to be at the bottom of the mountaintop, or the bottom of the mountain, I should say, looking upwards, just going nowhere fast, knowing where we can go, knowing the opportunity, knowing what we can achieve and what we can strive for, but staying at the base of the mountain and not going for it. That really is a powerless state. So what I'm going to encourage us all to do, and I'm doing it today, and I can't wait for all your feedback and criticism, truly it's the thing I'm most looking forward to in my state of vulnerability, is that we become powerful. I want to see us really lean into accountability and say, okay, this is our state of affairs. This is our reality. The reality is we need to be talking about change, and we need to be talking about how change is not always comfortable. Change is not always easy. And some of us love it. Others of us hate it. And we just need to talk about it. And then I want us to own it. I want us to own our feelings. I want us to own our realities. I want us to own our fears. I want us to go on this journey together. I want us to find paths forward. I want us to get creative. I want us to get innovative. I want us to explore the unknown and the opportunities. And then I want us to commit to that mountaintop. I want us to say, yep, I'm ready to be accountable. So again, for those of us who had a tough week last week, it's our reality. We're going to own it. We're going to still look for solutions, and we're going to get excited and pumped about our ability to commit. So thank you for everyone for joining me. Again, I welcome your criticism. I welcome your feedback. Tell me everything you love, you hate, and everything in between. But please get ready with me. We're going on a nice long change journey.